Yeah, this is pretty early. However, we are at 1 year of the release, so there is a lot of work to do in 1 year. But yeah.
Keep in mind too, we're not losing our stuff yet either, right? That's when when it starts to feel bad when you start losing kits.
Yeah, especially with Quest, we have we will try. So I cannot make the promise of it because it's always easy to say we will do something amazing with Quest. But we want to try to avoid as much as possible. There will be, but FedEx Quest. That means Quest when you need to just go to a position, do something, and then leave. So there will be quests like this, but we want to have some more immersive quests with some random thing with happening. The universe is horrific, paranormal, so quest will also bring a bit more on this side to make it a bit more interesting and a bit more real.
I think that's a great idea.
And also for the map, so something just to share. So there's 3 map planet for the early access. For the moment, we are in line. At least the level design team say, yes, it's fine, we will do it. So I trust them. And for the 1.0, so after the early access, we want 8 map. And basically for the map, each map have a different game loop. It's not like always go to a bunker and extract an artifact. It's always different depending on the map. And more the map will advance in time, more the map will be weird with weird thing. The last map is supposed to be like something like out of reality, if I can say this like this. So if you got any question, feel free.
I guess my question would be, when is the next playtest that we could play immediately, I guess? Is it still a few days away?
That's a good question.
You can subscribe in content creator channel.
12th, right?
Yeah, I think this is
the 12th, as early as that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Saturday.
Still going on this week.
Saturday,
okay.
two slots open still.
Yeah. And,
I might sit back and watch and learn a little bit more about the game, but it's been sweet.
And maybe there will be crash or maybe not for the next playtest. It's like roll a dice.
I didn't crash today. I was crashing last build. I didn't crash today, so that was good.
I only crashed once, I think, when I got respawned by an admin or something, but that was it.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of things. There is crash from everything, like crash from FSR, crash from Unreal Engine, and crash from us. So all those technologies like new. So even Unreal Engine is not stable right now. 5.5 is not stable. 5.4. Same for FSR. FSR, AMD will publish a patch, and us also is not stable. So when you add all this technology within development, you do something like this. When stability is like not important.
Amazing frames with FSR, and
yes,
didn't crash at all.
Yeah, no, but FSR is with when it's stable. And AMD told us like next patch. They are working on it. So
okay.
Soon.
Hey, I gotta run, guys. GG's. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, chat. Have a good night.
Bye.
Yep. I think all I can contribute is inverted options for the alien, but everything else is good. You got inverted for the normal guys, so that's all I can add to the table. I'm the oddball here, so.
No, it's definitely something. Like we try to value accessibility. It's like from daltonism and stuff like this. The only thing is we are a small dev studio, so we don't realize like we need to have someone who say, hey, me, I'm for example, I'm diff, so I need an option, accessibility option for this, and we're oh yeah, we didn't think about this, and we go for it. But yeah, the accessibility is like super important for us.
Well, I love how you guys have no HUD and everything. It's on the PDA on your arm. It's like it's just a beautiful full screen. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah, we try
so
to.
Nice.
And it's so annoying to do as a dev, trust me, because we need to convey everything by sound, visual, effects on your screen, and on the PDA, and it must not be annoying and clear for users. And so there's like a lot of progression. Like I see you, Smoke, you was constantly struggling to close the alarm, and it's because, for example, we need to add a little thing on the alarm to say okay, push okay to confirm, to acknowledge, something like this.
Right. Well, I was actually pressing the wrong button. I should have, I was hitting the wrong buttons, but I love how you just, you don't know the buttons until you figure it out, and then probably from that day forward I would have it. So that was my fault, actually.
Yeah, once you know, for all this stuff.
The only thing that where we will add UI is when you switch mode from your guns, just to have the it will be just below, a bit like the actual debuff. And the same when you swap laser and light torch, it's like very confusing because you have no visual feedback for the moment.
Right.
Use an animation with broken on the MK18, and so there is lag. Like it feels like lag, it's not, but it's and so we have a new UI who is already ready for this, and we will check you on what you are doing.
I just pinged you in the read info channel. This is what the UI will look like.
So the next milestone for the game is to actually we are working on the backend for matchmaking and stuff like this, and so the next playtest should include like the matchmaking, and it will start to be like a more huge pool of players. There will be also inventory, like weapon, ability to custom your weapon, and ability to load players. This is the goal of the next patch.
That's sick.
And but no persistent yet and no quest yet. It will just be something so we can test and see if we are burning the server or not, and what will be the cost of it.
Can we full loot? Can we loot like meds and grenades off other players?
Yeah, everything.
Okay.
It's like on the loot aspect, when you kill someone, it's a bit like Tarkov. Like you can loot everything. The only thing is we try to avoid to have Tetris management into the game. So there is your bag is like a square. It's not like multiple thing into your character. It's like just a big square, and the square depends on the size of the bag you took.
Is there Steam integration for team up? For scene?
For matchmaking, you mean?
Yes. For example, to join with a friend.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So you can choose to like play solo. Be matched with random people, or be matched with your teammate. Yes, of course.
Okay.
So I don't want to share so much because it's for after early access, and we since No Man's Sky we try to avoid the Silmar effect when you promise things. But you know that we like to promise. It's because really we want to add those things. But later, like much later after early access, one of our top priority and something we really want into the game is like a faction system. And to add like a lot of content and stuff like this around it. Basically, the end game of the game is supposed to be a bit more social. With, for example, you will have a global chat into the game and stuff like this. So this is something we really take care and take inspiration from MMORPG because we think that this is a way to have a game who lasts long when you have all this community interaction. But yeah, and if you go to the Skinforge right now, yeah, there is some white skirts on the bug. But if you go to the Skinforge, I think there is some faction skin already, so it can show you a bit what is it. And here we go. Any other question, guys?
Minor question from me. I'm just curious. Are we going to be? I assume we're going to be able to. Are we going to be able to like consolidate mags?
To fill up another mag?
Yeah. So if we got like 5 rounds in one, are we going to be able to put it in like a mag that's got 25 or whatever?
So there will never be ammo management like per ammo. But like filling a mag from another mag, yes, it's something we want. It's funny you say this because we have a moderator into the team who said, "This is mandatory," and so I always smile when someone does this. But yeah, he's right. It's like a nice quality of life. The thing you need to know is like there is no different caliber into the game. Per ammo, it's like magazine per weapon, and some weapon shares the same magazine. From like for an assault rifle or something like this, MK18 shares the same mag. Everything with 5.56. NATO will share, the same magazine and stuff like this. And when you go into the red, all your magazine is filled up. So the only thing you buy is basically the magazine, not the ammo.
Nice.
And you can loot it, of course, from other players. But yeah, you can split the mag, not split the mag into 2, but use the mag to fill another one.
Yeah, that would be nice. I'm OCD, so it's nice to have all my mags topped up,
Yeah, being able to top everything up will be nice.
I think one question. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, just for also the feature for the next patch which is incoming, there is a door system. So ability to close and open doors.
Okay.
So like pretty much basic, but you cannot know how hard this is for game development and multiplayer to have doors.
Yes,
it's like massive. Yeah, it's holy shit, this is hard to do it right. And also there is night vision Google and stuff like this was incoming. And
Nice.
more tactical tools.
Somebody was asking a lot. Is it going to be friendly for like solo, duo, trio, or are you guys building the game mainly around teams of 3? Like
No.
it pays to have a group of friends, or?
We build the game to be playable from alone to third people, like the full range of it. So every feature we design, we try to be balanced for all, and there is some special thing for team of 3 and some special thing, some advantage for team solo. Like a team of 3 can revive mates, same for team of 2. As a solo, you cannot be revived. But so it's why also when if there is a juggernaut, for example, who is screaming to detect players, and there is a group of 3 people, we will show like the scream echo will be on the 3 people and not on the player alone. Stuff like this to help you a bit like we are alone. But after we are an extraction shooter, so it's like for me this is like a bit the spirit of the extraction shooter. One thing very important to understand, because some player is like, wow, the juggernaut, but he will kill me when I alone. Yes, but this is on purpose. We are a bit like Stalker, a bit like an horrific game. You must choose your engagements, and it's why you have an alarm when the juggernaut is coming close, is to let you choose what you want to do, like flee, hide yourself, or go conflict the juggernaut, or just prize for him to don't come to you. This is thing like this.
Okay. Nice. Thanks for the answer.
No problem. Yes, the EP is also planned. It was in fact something back into the game. Same for, because I knew you have the question, same for fire mode, solo and stuff like this. Is just thing we removed because of crash and stuff like this.
Right, okay.
What I'm forgetting? I think
so I'm sure eventually you'll be able to add like red dots and suppressors and customize your rifle thoroughly, you know.
So for the weapon, it's a bit specific. So what you cannot really customize, but you choose, is like the base of your weapon. So like the cross, the pistol grip, and stuff like this, you cannot choose it, but you can buy a weapon. Like there is 4 different versions of the PP19, and you choose what platform, what assembly you prefer, and then on this assembly you can totally customize on while, of course, the sight, muzzle, foregrip, laser and light on the side, on the top, even if you want, or on the bottom, it's up to you, and the magazine. And I think it's all. I don't forget anything.
No, I like the flashlights. I'm looking forward to the night vision. It's gonna look sweet with the lasers. I like it.
Yeah.
Sweet, man.
Night vision's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
For people who don't understand, so we are not a realistic game, but an immersive one. It's quite very different, and so everything is tactical. I'm a past military, in case you ask. So everything with tactical and stuff like this, we love this basically. We love like to immerse you into the game and to have some cool animation with like simply the fact like going down with your night vision Google and stuff like this. It's a thing we loved as detail.
Yeah, I love how you guys got glow sticks on your teammates instead of like an arrow or a waypoint and something that breaks the immersion. So that was awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, we are super proud of it, to be honest, because it's like super elegant, and we are proud to bring this.
Random thought on the laser stuff. Because the immersion of having no HUD and stuff is fantastic. Could you do something with them where you just have the lights? Now I don't know IR devices in real life, so I don't know how they function. But could you have like the lights on the back instead of HUD stuff? So you got like an on-off light, and then a laser light, and then a flashlight light, depending on the mode or whatever. And just have it all built into just the back, because you're looking at it at the back, right, on your gun.
Yes.
So like if you, instead of having that HUD thing that Matta posted, have it all like within the housing of the laser. I don't know if I'm explaining it.
I'm not sure to understand, to be honest.
So like if you're looking at the back of the purse, for example,
yes.
You have one light that's your on-off light. So if it's on, your device is on. And then you have maybe 2 other lights. One indicates laser, one indicates flashlight.
That's a totally great idea. The issue is like, it's like if we do this, basically, it's like still confusing and still annoying. Like imagine need to look to your laser every time to know if you are selecting it or not. And so basically all what we are doing is like a compromise between immersion, realism, and not accessibility, but like quality of life. And so this is like for us, if you turning on your light and your laser is something like you do constantly into the game. Like you are constantly switching to it. And so if we do an animation or something like this, it starts to be complicated, especially because you can choose where you unpack or where your laser device is going, like on the top, on the right, on the left, there is everywhere.
Yeah, I guess it would depend on where they're going to be, right? It would have to, depending on what part of the gun. Well, I don't know. I guess you could design it to, okay, so starting with what you said about looking, like if you look at the back of your laser, it's closer to where you're typically looking at the center of your screen anyway, instead of looking down at the bottom where the HUD element would be, So I feel like that's not necessarily as much of an issue. I guess it would just be trying to define those lights to be very clear as to what they're doing.
Okay. Yeah.
Just a thought. I haven't thought too much about it, but
it's like.
Oui, ça fait penser un peu.
I mean, we need to think about it basically.
I'll try and do like a little mock-up of what I mean, because trying to put the words together is a little harder,
It will be much better if we, in suggestion, if you can wrap it, like for sure. We are taking them.
Yeah, I'll try and do something. I'll try and do like a video going over it too, just because, like I said, if you're looking at this,
it will be enough.
Well, just like a little one, like make the mock-up and then kind of say what I mean,
Yeah. So. Okay. Another question?
I had a question about the studio. It's in Switzerland, but
Yes.
you're French, and
Yes.
Is there any Swiss? Swiss?
In the studio?
Yes.
No.
Why it's in why it's in Switzerland?
Yeah, it's in the Switzerland because basically, so you need to know how the studio starts to understand the full story. When this game is basically my end of studies project.
Okay.
And I was doing the development of the game in live stream for
Yes.
4 years, something like this.
I remember.
And one guy, you remember?
Yes,
Yeah?
I've looked at this project.
Oh, that's super cool.
Very long ago. Yes, sir.
That's super cool. Okay, thank you. And one Swiss investor basically look at the project and say, "Hey, that look nice." And we talk, and we decided to fund Deep World finally. And of course, like he's based in Switzerland, the studio is in Switzerland. There is advantage, like confidence. There is disadvantage, like it's super hard to hire people in Switzerland.
Yeah.
But
The question was, is there home working dev from around the world?
if we have people around the world,
Yes.
yes, well, most of the. I mean, there is a huge part of the team who is French. Sorry. A lot of European. We have some Russian. We have a huge other part with American. One South African, and I guess this is it all. Yeah, is that Egypt?
Hi.
Hi. But yeah, it's all around the world, and we have also you need to add like additional studio, like the animation of monsters is done by Rocunion Studio, who is Philippine studio. I think they done the animation also on GTFO, if I'm correct. I'm not sure. So there you go. But yeah, but this is at Geneva. At least we are 3 people. Yeah, like full-time employee.
Okay.
And yeah, so this is like truly indie project for one time.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But this the associate give us the freedom like to don't really care about publisher and stuff like this. That don't mean we are close to publisher, but that means that we have the freedom to say no. And for the moment, most of the offer we got, we said no or not interested for the simple reason that we want to keep the creative, the artistic creativity in the game, and also because now the game is funded. That we also reach like a massive amount of wish list. We are close to 600k right now.
Okay.
We're on the top Steam. So, And so, of course, it's interesting for publisher, but for us now, it's not interesting anymore. So we are like, yes, but it's a bit too late to come into the game. But yeah, so there is some who is interesting, especially because we want to go on China market and stuff like this.
Ah, yes,
So,
it's a
we are
very
looking.
specific market.
It's super hard, yeah. We have basically a lot. There's 2 expansion we want for the game is like console version
Yes.
and China markets. And the thing is,
Okay.
for the 2 for console version, we need a studio to make the port, and we want a good port, so it's like hard, and it costs a lot of budget basically to do the console version. And the second one, we have a lot of wish list is coming from China. There's like in China, they start to really like extraction shooter, so they try to play Tarkov and stuff like this, but it's really hard with the firewall basically.
Yes.
And so if we want to be in, we need basically to work with a China producer or something like this, who is able to like have access to the market. So this is actually what we are looking. Not sure it will be the case, so just like negotiation for the moment.
Yeah, I'll be any chance I get to play, I'll be there.
Oh, thank you. So I guess you like it.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's we're always sad when there's a crash and stuff like this. I mean,
I'm over here sitting doing mock-ups already, so I think I have a little bit of interest.
but that's so cool. So when we did this game, it was like just a drawing game for us, and the idea we love game creativity from years 2000. You know, this period of game when you got the first Alien vs Predator. Game like Black and White was one of my favorite games.
Oh, Black and White?
I love it, and like it's really one of my favorites game from all time.
Super unique.
And so, and when we look at the actual market of video game, we was like, hey, there's no game who is trying to, you know, do all thing. Was sometimes bad idea, but at least they're trying to do something new. And so this is a bit the motive behind the studio, like to do things like this, like trying to test things. And so this is why there's a lot of tests in Beautiful Light. We know already there's a lot of things will not work. Maybe it will be champion performances and stuff like this, but at least we test, and we are happy from it. Like it's like we are proud to offer something new.
Yeah, and I think it's just all the things, right? You guys are trying to do something new. The fact that you guys are so open and honest and just like the communication and everything, people appreciate that, because that is not something we get much of these days. And trust me, gamers notice that.
Yeah, we seek. Also, this is what we made this choice. The idea behind it is like, okay, let's stop to speak to players like if they are chilled, you know. And for us, it's like super important to don't lose this link with the community. And as especially we know, as this is really our first game, we have no experience in video game development before it, and so we know we're gonna make mistakes, and we think that people will be more error prone if we be honest with them, like, okay, we fuck up on this, but we target and we will try this and this. They will be like more able to understand and be more nice with us.
100%.
I think this is the right way. To be honest, when we start to say we will do things like this, there is some big AAA studio who look at us and say, oh, like it's not how you are supposed to do. And then now there is a lot of studio, I cannot share the name, who come back to us and say, hey, finally your work to communicate is great, and we will do the same. And so we start some, it's mostly an extraction shooter community, but we see some other studio doing exactly the same thing. And so like it's a little win also on our side. But and we hope it will be EA try something like this with the old and mysterious game of skating, was Skit or something like this, if I remember right. It was a super good idea. They tried to be 100% transparent, and I don't know why they stopped it. And when I see this, I was like, no, EA, come on, it was so nice. But yeah, but we will see it like an experience. So maybe in the late time, we will see it was not a good idea, and maybe there is some good reason why not share everything. But here we go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it do you know the game Dungeonborn?
Yes.
They are having a shit of a time right now. they're like not doing anything, and their communication has been just non-existent for the most part. And because of that, the player base is dying. Nobody knows what's going on. People are confused. And like I loved the game. I was having a great time playing it, and I was making videos for it and stuff. And then it felt like I was putting more work into the game than they were. And it's just fallen off huge. They peaked, I think they had initially peaked at like 39,000 or something. Peak doesn't really matter, but they were like maybe averaging 20K. And then now they're down to maybe 1,000, and they're just not saying anything. There's so much like just lost in communication. If there is any communication, it's brutal. And yeah, like I said, people appreciate it when you guys are open and honest. And sure, there's probably some stuff you don't want to share for whatever reasons, but so far, like, you guys have been super transparent, which is a very refreshing thing.
There is one thing we don't share is the lore of the game, because we want people to discover it.
Yeah, see, that's...
We stopped it to, like, some features we have in mind, we stopped it to share it, simply for one reason. We have another extraction shooter who basically copied us.
Yeah, I know. I know the game.
Known, yes, and we know why they are doing this. We are in peacefully with all other developers, but with this studio, no, because what they did was not correct, and especially they come to our own Discord to say, "Hey, it's funny, we have the same idea in the same time." But,
yeah, so convenient.
And they even steal our Steam market page, so we was like a bit mad. But this is a game, I guess. And so now we just try, we don't stop to share new features, but only when they are done. We know with the wishlist number we have, we know we're gonna make a lot of money, basically. So no one is really worried about this. But what we don't want is like to peak to 30K, 40K, 50K if we are lucky. Maybe it will be a flop, huh? But if we reach like 50K, something like this, is super cool. But we don't want like the number to drop to 1,000K, 1K, sorry. At like 2 weeks or 3 weeks after the release. This is like the biggest fear we got, and this is like very common for the moment for extraction shooter, because they are released in early access without enough content.
Dungeonborn, 100% Dungeonborn.
A lot of game, of game.
Yeah,
not only them.
Dungeonborn comes to mind immediately, but yeah, it's definitely a very common thing.
We spent so many time on this game that it's cool to make money. But we are not here for this. We are here like to make our game live, and we hope we will be able to reach many years with this game, and it will be the dream, basically. So there is this, and the second concern is cheating. So this
that
is
will
like
always
number
be a
one of number one cheating. So we won't lie, there will be cheater into the game, but our goal and what we focus, we do massive investment into this, basically. But our goal is to have one cheater over 50 game. So if we reach this number, for us it's like non-existent problem, and so it's fine. For example, in some extraction shooter, you have 1 to 2 to 3 cheaters per game. So this is like the worst thing we can have. And basically we don't want to end like the cycle was a great game killed by cheaters. And we don't want to finish like this. It's like issue, big issue in the video game industry right now.
Yeah, again, you guys like that as well. It's just like you guys have the mindset that I think a lot of us appreciate. You guys are focusing on the right things, and again, like you said about you don't want to drop the game and just be dead in a week, because we're in the TikTok brain era where people will move on instantly. You will not get those people back. People will move on to the next game. So you gotta hold that player base right from the start, right?
Yeah, and for us, the answer is simple. It's content. Like, you need to have enough content to, and there's two things for us, like good PvP, like very good PvP, like Hunt did, basically. If Hunt is still alive and still like the game who saved basically high tech, we can say this. Without Hunt, they was dead. And it's because they got an insane PvP. And so for us, the first thing was like, that's why we spent so much time to focus on the player control. We should have a nice feeling on game. We should be have something with satisfactory. I play too much with this game. something you love when you shoot, like a satisfying feeling.
Satisfying. Yeah.
Yes, thanks. And it's not exactly what we want right now, but we are close to it. Like every patch, we made a lot of progress on this point. So this is the first thing, and the second thing is like replayability and content. So you need to have an early content enough so the player is engaged, and once he's engaged, like he can wait for updates. But if 2 weeks is not enough, because when we speak about an extraction shooter in the mind of the player, he's like it's an MMORPG. Like he don't realize it's in this, but they accept the extraction shooter to be like an MMORPG, like to be a game when they can sit for years, basically, and who will basically replace a Tarkov or Hunt for people. And so
Yeah.
this is like super huge challenge, because Tarkov and Hunt are great games, and they have 9 years of content, mostly. So it's like super hard to come and say, hey, I'm new, trust me. So we, of course, we are not competing really against them, because we are offering, like, we hope something new with extraction shooter. But it's we'll need to compare to in some way, like to show to the players that we have enough content. And yeah, so this is a challenge. I'm circling a bit, sorry, I'm tired, but this is
No,
a
no,
bigger
I'm.
challenge.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Content, like, a completely different game, and on the topic of MMOs, but look at New World as well. New World had fantastic combat. It's like
I know.
I love the combat of that game, but there was no content, and the combat was what kind of kept people around as long as they did, and now they're kind of ruining that. They got some like aimbot garbage now.
I don't agree on the fact they didn't have content. They got content. I mean, I was in a guild for the release, a competitive PvP guild for the release of new worlds, and the content was here. It's just like we are so fast to burn it. Like, to be honest, it's like, I mean, I've reached maximum level in 2 weeks and being constantly online. Something like this on 1 week. Something like this with a guild. And
yeah,
so
I was quite invested too. But
Yeah.
like, what do we have though aside from like the wars and invasions?
Yes, not everything was perfect, but it was enough for release. But it's just the amount of content you need to deliver for the player base is absolutely insane now. Like,
Yeah.
there is not a lot of studio who can deliver this content, and so you need to kinda balance, kinda thin trick, like to have a good replayable gameplay and stuff like this. And this is the same. If the first week you have too many cheaters, there's a lot of players who is like, oh no, I'm off, and they leave.
Yeah.
They not come
Yeah.
back. So
Yeah.
yeah. Welcome
See, that
to
was
the
another
community right
thing.
now.
That was the thing with New World too. Like, again, their combat was so good. If they had just added some kind of arena system from the start, I think that would have helped keep people engaged. But then you had all the issues with like the duplicating and the auction house, and the economy went to garbage, so that didn't help either. But
yeah,
the motivation.
we don't want free market because we think it's killing the game basically.
Oh yeah, no,
I will die on a hill to just have Tarkov without flea market, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly, Tarkov gets ruined by the flea market 100%.
You've seen the video from the TwitchCon in where was it, Las Vegas, where I posted the interview in the off-topic channel, and Nikita himself said he hates the flea market, and if it was him,
horrible.
he would remove it. And he said for the next wipe there will be time frames where the flea market won't be accessible.
Yeah,
that's good.
but he should even remove it. I mean, this is Hunt literally proof you can do it without. And people don't realize, but Hunt was way more hardcore than Tarkov. Like in Tarkov, if you reach something like 8 million, you will never be pro, never.
Yep.
And with the free market, it's like so easy to reach 8 million. And so if you combine those two, it's like, I mean, and this is why they wipe the game basically. It's because this is the thing. But if you can, the fun thing in video game extraction shooter is to be not like broke, but not rich.
You're scraping by.
just in the middle, and this is very hard to do. But if you are just in the middle, this is where the thing is fun, because this is where you can experience gear fear, basically. And gear fear is the most fun thing in the extraction shooter. This is like the shot of adrenaline. You have the same thing in hardcore MMORPG or simply EVE Online if you have already played to EVE Online. My favorite MMO, by the way.
Same.
But yeah, it was hell time on EVE Online. But I mean, if you fear in a fight, it's because there is consequence to your death, and this is what extraction shooter bring. This is this thing, and so it's like so important to got it. But if you are broke, if you are rich, there is no gear fear, so you lose adrenaline, and it starts to become Call of Duty, and it's less entertaining. It's still fun, but definitively less. And that's why it's like you see when a player complains about the camper, they don't realize in fact camper is like so useful for the game. Because when someone is camping, you are like, oh no, I died by a camper. But this is what who force you in the raid to be always intense, always looking for thing, always taking like, you know. And this is thing who had so much like the ability for people who camp. And if you remove camp in Tarkov, I'm personally sure at 100% it will be shit. When you go to an extraction, afraid, like, oh shit, maybe there will be something on the camping, stuff like this, especially if you got a high value loot on your yep. This is my vision of thing. Maybe I'm wrong, by the way, but
no, I mean, that's kind of the thing for me with Tarkov too. I've got thousands of hours in Tarkov, but it's like I enjoy the initial week or two of wipe, and then as soon as I unlock the flea market, I've got endless money. It's all over.
It's everybody the same, and I don't understand why Nikita. I think he's afraid of player reaction.
I mean, he wasn't afraid enough to charge $250 for the True Believer edition.
So just to give some information on what we are planning for the game on this site. So you pay the version, it's 39 euros, not 99, 40 euros basically in France. There will be a region price, of course. Then we have also microtransaction, but for cosmetic only, nothing pay to win. And then we have also DLC. And so this is, and when we say this, most of people say, yeah, it's fair. Okay, why not? It's a bit high, but it's fair. And for unaired edition, everybody was crying. And it's just communication and mistake of communication, because when you think for 5 seconds, Escape from Tarkov for $1,000, so $100, it's a bit high, yes. But they allow you to play for mostly 8 years without asking you anything.
Yeah.
And you need to know what is the cost of one player on the server. It's like insane. It's like one CCU is mostly $1 per month or $2 per month. And for Tarkov, I think with the server issues I got, it's like way more, like maybe $3 to $4 per month. And so when you know this, you know, if you stay online 24 hours by 24 hours, that means that you need to pay $3, $4 per people. And so now we multiply this by, I don't know what is the CCU of Tarkov, but they maybe got 20, 30K people online. I think it's reasonable to say this, maybe more, maybe less. I absolutely don't know. But if they got 30K, that means they should pay this time for every month. So it's like insane. And yes, at some point, like you need to have to get some way to get more money, or you will just die as a company. And I think they faced this issue, and they did the worst thing ever. They should, in my opinion, they would go for skin or DLC or boss, and people will say, okay, it's fine. But I think it's just bad idea, to be honest. But they got so many good ideas, so I don't throw the stone.
Yeah, I think that was the main issue for me, is the fact that like I did the initial $150 for Edge of Darkness. I did that way back in like 2016, 17, whatever. And I have thousands of hours in the game, and that's just in-game time. I don't know how much time I've spent in my stash, but I have no complaints giving more money to a company that gives me that much time in a game. But yeah, the way they did it, where they promised us DLC, and then they started, well, no, this isn't DLC technically, and then they just all of that was just a little shady.
It's clunky communication as hell. I'm pretty sure if they just go and say, okay, you cost us this by month, we need money or we will die, something like this, people will say, "Oh, we give money. We will support the studio."
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's but yeah, it's like I know developers. I mean, before doing Beautiful Light, Estyaah is from one of my favorite magazines online. Il n'y a pas de version papier, hein, on est d'accord.
Non, non, non.
Ouais, ah ouais, it's online. But both Canard PC and NoFrag is really like the indie journalism. We can call this like this.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And why I love them is because when we got approached by some other journalists, we got things like we just a good example. Rock Shotgun Paper just made an article about us, and the title
saw
of the
that.
article, yeah, the title of the article is like, "This game is so good, something like this," or "I love the atmosphere. I just wish it was not an extraction shooter." Why the fuck you send us a journalist who doesn't like FPS and doesn't like extraction shooter? Why we cannot be like other game, you know? And there is a ton of things like this when we discuss with on game conference and stuff like this. There is so many things on the state of the industry when you come from nowhere and you are like, why it's going like this? And same people is so afraid when you follow some conference. Some studio is so afraid to communicate and things like this when it's look like just simple. Just tell the thing. Just like just do the thing normally. I don't know. But I am pretty sure there is good reason. Most of the time there is good reason behind it. But it seems so weird, yes?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we go through game phases anyway. There was the BR craze, and now it's the extraction shooter craze. But again, it's like, what successful extraction shooters are there right now outside of Tarkov and Hunt Showdown?
No one.
There's nothing.
I mean,
there's been
there
many
is
attempts.
Marauder. There is Marauder, but he's like not. Really
It's not a success. Huh?
They got good numbers on the start, but now
On the start, yes, on the start, but it's hard. It's hard for us. I think they are under 1,000.
Yeah, 247 for yesterday's.
So
yeah, and the worst thing is the setup of the game. Like the global idea of the game is so cool.
Yes,
like,
yes, yes.
You start in the space and stuff like this. I was like so sold for the game. I don't really know what happened because I play it sometimes just to see what is new into the game, but I don't spend too much time on it. But yeah, there is not too much extraction shooter. I mean, of course, there is no Tencent with incoming with Abai and stuff like this. But
there was too much good extraction shooter because the idea is little everywhere. I see everyone extraction shooter, and we began to not talking about all extraction shooters in NoFrag, for example. We used to do this for our games because there is so many horror games we can't speak about all horror games. But now we wait for a game take a little more space, a little to see if it's a real project or not. For example, I see last week or 2 weeks ago an extraction shooter with graphics like Roblox, with battle royale components, with many things. All ideas are in this game, yes, but it's a project I don't think is going anywhere. I think there is already many extraction shooter.
It's like to be honest, it's like super hard to do an extraction shooter.
Yes.
And when you are a developer, so there's a common thing in the game development. Like the first advice is don't see too big on terms of features and stuff like this.
Yes.
And everybody, including me, when we start, I mean, Beautiful Light is literally a project when we see too big, and it's not even out. So we have many ideas for the game, but yeah, we don't have the budget. It's like people don't realize that some little thing can take 1 week to do in game development, and there is only 52 week into a year. So and yeah, so the ambition for the extraction, it's not hard as a MMO, I would say it, but it's damn hard to do it correctly. And yeah, and so and basically an extraction shooter is like a middle ground between an MMORPG and like it's a very special and a battle royale. I would say it's maybe a very bad definition of it.
It's a branch, a fork.
Yeah, for me, yes, it's a fork of it. Yes,
Mm.
even if it starts to be really different, but yeah, and cool genre. Personally, Tarkov was like so good when I tried for the first time. And the idea was I got with it and come in the same time, so they got the same idea, I guess, in the same time. But that was two really great idea, and I think it's like a bit like in this this time when we got a lot of MMORPG announcements, like in years 2010, something like this, I guess. But
Yeah.
every of MMORPG who was out was like total garbage, and I think it's happening a bit the same with extraction shooter. Like you start the project, first step is going great, and then so you are okay, it's doable, and then you go to finish the game and you don't achieve it, but you must release it because you have found engage, and then everything broke down because it was simply too big. So
yeah, and a lot of these companies are just trying to capitalize on the hype too, right? So you get a lot of those out there just doing bare bones ideas and just trying to capitalize on the market for that genre.
I don't even know how to react to this. It's like if you want my 20 cents in the subject, the issue is on the state of the game industry right now is like most of the game is doing exactly the same recipe. Like if you it will shock you probably what I will say, but if you go on Spider-Man 2 and you go on a Ubisoft game, yes, you can move differently. It's like a different world. This is mostly the same. You are in an open world, but not really finally. The quest is always like you need to go up to a tower, and then you can pick an environment or a mechanic who is close to it. And for most of the game, this is most of open world. This is the same thing. When you look to shooters, most of them is like Call of Duty. Try. For example, Ubisoft. I don't understand why they go with X Defiant. It was like obvious that will not work, and no, the Call of Duty community will not drop Call of Duty for X-Defense.
Yes.
And there's nothing. And same for extraction shooter, when Tencent go with ABI, Arena Breakout, I was like, okay, but you're just copying Tarkov. What's the point? They will not drop Tarkov for you, even if you are just slightly better, they will stay on Tarkov. Like you need to bring really something new. And I think like the AAA state, all the AAA is like blocked in the thing like video game costs too much, and so they want to have a recipe who already worked at 100%, so they go for it. There is no innovation, and so player is like, oh, it's boring, I already see this so many times. And this is what is happening for me globally. Same for extraction shooter. Like you take all the extraction shooter announced for the moment, it's like either Tarkov copy, either like Call of Duty DMZ copy. And I don't know no one focusing Hunt except us, but it's always the same thing. And so yeah, of course people get bored, but this is a good thing because the industry is forced to evolve now. So maybe we'll see like a new creativity with especially indie scene and stuff like this. I think it will change, and for the good thing. Like I think you cannot face the consumer market. Like if they want something new, you need to bring something new.
Yeah. The sad thing is like I don't think we're gonna see the creativity from like outside of the indie industry, because all the big industries, they want money and they're gonna just copy paste, just like Call of Duty does every year.
I don't totally agree.
I kind of want to disagree as well.
I can.
They have to, just to make the money. They're gonna have to.
Yeah,
but are their investors gonna let them?
Yeah, no, but there's a very good counter example of this. There's Rainbow Six Siege, made by Ubisoft. And Rainbow Six Siege is like
2015.
Yes.
Yeah.
New. I know, but this is a proof that you can even have in AAA. I mean, when you look at AAA, the issue is not the developer, like Ubisoft developer. I know them. This is freelance.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of people to Ubisoft, but this is not the developer issue.
1907 about.
But what I mean is like if you trust your game director, to do something great, they will bring something new. And Rainbow Six Siege is like, for me, the best competitive shooter with out since so many years.
I agree 100%.
Yeah,
it's my
like fresh,
favorite.
new.
It is the best 5v5 shooter out there, hands down. I don't care what anybody says. It's just.
You want a fun fact?
I love
this
it.
game so much that I was pro on Rainbow Six Siege. Like,
were you were actually pro?
I was during my studies. I was doing pro league and stuff like this on Rainbow Six.
Oh hell yeah!
If you write on Google my nickname, you will see a bit. Like, I'm a bit proud of it.
I was platinum once back in my younger years.
But yeah, I mean, there will be force to it. So I think like this is an issue will be solved by itself.
I hope so. I just worry because I don't blame the developers at all. I 100% don't blame the game devs. I just don't know if I trust the investors to let these the investors let these devs be free.
They will have to. They will just
yeah.
Ubisoft recently is an example of that. It was some of the investors that forced them to make a change, right? Because the profits were speaking volumes about what the players want, basically.
Yeah.
Yes, but the investors will go out the video game market.
Also, but the thing who is happening to us is like quite unique. Like there's not a lot of projects. The only comparison is like Ready or Not, who got exactly the same stories than us. And I think it's like a common new model who also is incoming. Like one guy supporting totally a project. And when you compare when you need to invest into a game and what benefit can bring a game, it's like drug markets. It's more than this. It's like you invest 4 million, you can get 40 million. It's like insane. And when investors will realize like there's a ton of indie studio who need like a small amount of budget they can give to a AAA, and if they have someone to scout the game, who is great to scouting game, they will. For me, it will start like project like this. And we are one of those projects with like the beginning of a new way to finance video game. And especially I can tell this because I see like many game scout, new venture and investment and stuff like this who approach us and who is a bit in this like mentality. So thing is starting to evolve. After for legacy publishers, like the biggest one, they approach us. Some realize this, and some are surprising. Like some publisher, you are like, no, they are stuck. I can give name, of course, but you can think they are stuck. And no, they already think about this. They knew. But some other, like for example, one in the biggest in China. I say one of the biggest, not the biggest, but one of the biggest come to us, test the game, and say, oh, you must change this, and basically it was that casualize the game, lost the spirit of the game. It was like, no, you didn't understand what you have. and when you see this, you're like, okay, so you don't understand the market, you don't understand the gamers and what they want. So, yes,
I think that's what people appreciate about you guys too, is the fact that you want to. You've got your vision and you're gonna stick to it. And you're not gonna be compromised by money, basically. You say you won't. I hope you won't. Time will tell. Money does talk, but like you guys have the mindset. At least it seems that that's not gonna be a thing. You want that creative freedom, right?
It's always hard to claim that I will not change for money. The only thing I can say is we already got approached by publisher, and if I want to be rich, like not billionaire, but millionaire, if it's correct to say.
Yeah, millionaire.
I will already be like the game will be already sold, and I will be already comfortable for the rest of my time, and I refuse this. Like I choose someone else who is way more risky. But the thing is, I think it's also the indie spirit. Like, of course, we need money because we need to live. We have a family to make it and stuff like this, and simply we want to live correctly. But the game, like the product you are doing is like most important. This is the number one thing, and this is, I think in the indie industry there is like a lot of developers like this, this is like the great thing with incoming. Like now with Unreal, if you ask why the market will also change, it's because we are able to do Beautiful Light with it's not AAA graphic, but it's like very decent graphic regarding what AAA is doing. I
Yes.
think.
Yes. Yes.
And we are only we're like a very small studio with a very small budget. And why we are able to do this is thanks to Unreal Engine 5, thanks to Quixel, thanks to also have a super good artists who know it's accessible for indie to doing game like this. And most of the time will be yes.
Look at the Road to Vostok. The developer
Yeah.
is solo, and
Yeah.
it's pretty cool with Godot engine.
Yeah, no, it's like no, we can do it. And so as an indie, I mean, before indie was a bit stuck because people say we don't care about video game graphic, and it's not true. Like I'm pretty
Yes.
sure we do Beautiful Light, but more ugly, we won't have 600k wishlist. Like one of the major factor we got is because the game is cool on graphical side, and so yes, video graphical is important. And now like indie is able to get this graphic, and so it will like game changer for me.
Graphics, I think it's more for marketing.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
for example,
Totally.
Bodycam has been as do the buzz with the idea from Drama Studio. Record, but also because it's impressive. It's wow, it's so realistic, and that's why so many people share. Oh, look at this game!
Yeah,
and
absolutely. I mean, when Unrecord video drop, so basically Drama is freelance, so we know them pretty well. We discuss with them often. So, but just they fucking annoyed us because when they released the trailer, everybody was coming to us and say, "Oh, you see this video game? It's so beautiful." Like even my mother come to me, sees the video and say, "Oh, did you see this? It's like insane." But everybody, and so at the end of the week was like, "Yeah, we know, we have seen the trailer and stuff like this." But yeah, Epic is doing massive stuff, and the good news is like Epic is very aware of the situation and what they got in the end, and so they support indie like a lot. Like Epic, all the big Nvidia, Intel, Epic, and stuff like this is massively helping us with Beautiful Light. So not on money side, but more like on help, like how we can help you to market the game, how we can help you to optimize the thing. Do you need a lab basically for your game and stuff like this? And so he helps so much. AMD also, like everybody is like so focusing on ND market and trying to. They understood like, okay, maybe now there's big project from ND, and so we need to focus them because if we help them to reach like correct performance and stuff like this, indie game can boom, and that can be really great for selling, of course, Intel, Nvidia, and Unreal Engine stuff.
For Unreal Engine, I don't very well understand how it works. You have to pay something on the product you sell, or it's
So there is basically when we sell one copy of Beautiful Light,
yes,
outside CCU cost, like cost we need for the servers, for the anti-cheat, for stuff like this. For each copy, there is 30% who go to Steam, 5%
yes,
who go to Unreal Engine. This
okay,
is the
okay.
base. After more you go, more you sell copy, more Steam is reducing the 30%.
Yes.
And for Unreal Engine, you can so I can share the price, of course, but you have way with licensing of Unreal Engine to lower the amount they are taking.
Okay.
And most of it now, if you release a game on Steam and on Epic Game Stores, you got like lower percentage, I guess, something like this. So this is thing. Also, this is what I announced, if I'm correct.
Yep.
I had a quick question about
yes,
about Unreal actually.
yes.
Whenever they put out a new revision for everything, did they offer like technical help for anything? Like if you need to like
if you,
know,
got the licensing, yes.
Oh, okay.
If you have the licensing, you got it. If you are close to them, they'll help you also
Okay.
a lot. But yeah, it's mostly for big projects. But after, so actually the complicated thing is like Unreal Engine is released. It's like a new game engine, a new step into video game graphic, like a new generation.
Yeah.
And so all the industry is going for it. But players need to upgrade the rig. And so this is actually the huge fight. Like we are lucky because we are happening after the war, but a game like Horizon Warfare and stuff like this suffer from massive negative review for performance. when in fact it's not their fault. It's mostly like you see people with a 970 trying to run the game and like, oh, I'm 20 FPS.
Yeah,
I'm not sure all the critics are on the performance.
Not all. But
From
there's a
our
lot.
side, that's not the critics.
Oh, you know those people at Kotaku are running on like a 660 Ti, you know, like.
I mean,
Wow.
we know we're gonna have a hit for performances. Also at the release, like it's no plane when you make an Unreal Engine 5 game. But the thing is, Unreal Engine is also not really ready. Like it seemed to be ready, but it's not really. Like if you look to the next version of Unreal Engine 5.5, there is one massive optimization with incoming for Lumen, who is like massively helping on performances for everybody. And there's a lot of things in Unreal Engine for the moment with badly optimized or not done because they actually working on it. And so for me, the engine need 2 years before being really well optimized for what we are for the actual generation. And yes, it's hard to explain to players. Like really hard. Like when you say it's not the game is not badly optimized, it's just like we're on a new generation and you need to buy a new rig. Most of the players is like, no, you need to optimize the game. Yes, but we cannot at some point, you know, there's like some hard limit when you try to display something on the screen. Yeah.
Why does my 970 not run 1440p?
Yes.
Why is the Unreal Engine so fucking terrible? Like, motherfucker, did you play Rust back in the day? Stop fucking bitching.
It was something, yeah. But this is like a lot of factor. Like first, GPU crisis. Like it's not GPU crisis, but you know it was GPU crisis. In fact, people didn't buy cards. Secondly, we didn't have a new generation for years of graphical. Like there's a bit of stagnation those 5 last years. So people is not used to it. Like they lost the ability before when I was young. Every 4 years you buy a new graphical card, and it was out of the story.
That was not the same price.
It was not the same price. I agree too.
Yeah.
But it's like this, and and I lost my focus. I lost my direction. But it's like, yeah, if you at some point, if you want new graphical thing, simple fact, if we want to close the light in Beautiful Light, we need Lumen, for example. It's like a small features, but and you can ask, is this only why you use Lumen in video? No, it's also on production value. If you the whole technique to have good performances and good lighting is like baking the light.
Yes.
To bake the light, you need a farm, like a computer farm. It's like super expensive, and we cannot do this. And especially, you need to think like when you're baking a light, a baked light even on a farm can take 10 hours for a map. And if you change a small value on a light, and this doesn't work, like it's not the light. If you move an asset, you need to rebake everything. And so it's endlessly costly and time consuming. And if you are like indie developers, you cannot. But Lumen allow you to have this quality indirect. So it's like massive production gain. Second thing, it allows us, like you see in the bunker when you took the artifact, all the light turned to red. So this is thing like this, it allows us to have like different weather scenario very easily. And yeah, so and so there's many reasons why basically, and players doesn't understand this, and like it's kinda normal. I guess it's why we're trying to explain it every time.
I don't know if any of you have played it. I just finished Dead Island 2 today. Oh my god, that game runs so well. It looks great.
Yeah.
Considering the development hell they went through, but yeah, it's on what, Unreal 4?
But it's like as a subject, just a thing. Like one of the comments we see most of the time is like Call of Duty is not optimized. Okay.
No.
Call of Duty is able to run 200 of people on a massive map without any killing of players, like you can see at the other side of the map if you need, with all the events, and it's running at 120 FPS. It's like magic. And it's also something like player doesn't understand what optimization is. Call of Duty is actually gem of optimization. And when you extend this to a player, very often the player is like, "Oh, you say garbage."
Like, the beauty of the heavily modified Quake 3 engine.
Yeah.
The culling system that they're using is fucking so amazing. Like everything that's behind you is almost completely, not being rendered. And then the fact that like you're 360 and it renders on the spot, like
it's like the same thing in Unreal Engine. It's what we call culling. Like view-strum culling. It's like we are running only Unreal Engine is also a massive gem of performances, but it's like badly exploited for the moment. Like the ideas they put, actually the state of the industry on the graphical engine is we go for virtualization. So virtualization is like if I got a texture to display, but I only see a small part of the texture, I only render this small part. I don't load all the object, and everything like virtual texture is this. Manilight is like the virtualization for light. Nanite is like virtualization for mesh, etc., etc., etc. And this allows to be insanely efficient. And they are trying to do this for everything in Unreal Engine, and it's working well so far. But there is like still a massive room for optimization, and they're actually working on this. And you will see like in 2 years, if you take the same game with the same how to say it, graphical card at the conditions they evolve, of course, on Unreal Engine, took the new version, the performance will be like a lot better. Like insanely better. So even able to run on all that war, I think. So yeah, I see on your I see on your chat someone having the right references. Speaking about Rage, Rage was like, but John Carmack, huh? But Rage was like the precursor of it. It was insane idea behind it.
Insane idea, but I relaunched it several weeks ago, and it's not really good now with a very huge PC. It doesn't work very well. Yes, I don't know why. Excuse me?
For Rage 1?
Rage 1, yes. Rage 1. Yes, it's a mega texture. It's and when you move quickly, you see it pop it. So,
but this is basically what we are doing right now with Unreal Engine. I mean, I like everybody. It's a mega texture from this is like a virtual texture, but for all the map.
Okay.
And but this is exactly the same thing that in Unreal Engine we have virtual texture. The only difference is like not one big texture. It's like a lot of small texture for every asset.
Okay.
But basically the ID, the original ID, come like a lot of things in the industry from John Carmack with the rendering technology.
Yeah.
Like if you go on the virtual reality right now, a lot of progress has been made by John Carmack itself.
I'm so happy that he switched over to doing that stuff. Like that dude is a genius.
But we yes he made there is sometimes some people like him who make win.
He's got some he's got some things about him, like once he left id, he was a little bit more outspoken about things, but whatever. It doesn't change the fact that the guy's he's innovating or helping to innovate.
I like to say it like I can't like Elon Musk. I hate him. Like his personality and stuff like this. He basically did nothing because he's not the inventor of Tesla. He's not the inventor of SpaceX. It's not a genius for this. But this guy, you can say whatever you want, bring new space, bring electric car, mostly. Like he's at the point of so many advance just by marketing and business, of course. But you cannot refuse this to them. So being a genie on your side, on your own range of competency, doesn't avoid you to be a jerk. Like,
no, absolutely.
This is thing like this. So and I don't know for John Carmack, to be honest. I mean, I can talk. I won't say the name, but there's like a famous
John Carmack, c'est quand même le co-créateur de Doom, quoi.
Black and white.
Peter Molyneux. Yeah.
Maybe, but I meet him. He's like a super nice guy, but with like very
insane
straight ID. Like it's hard to debate with him, and mostly wrong because I got I won't share the detail, but I got a debate with him when he was saying it was a short debate. It was not something huge, but when he said like the future of the video game is like with a mobile. And in fact, it was he come back like some months after to say, "Oh, it's not the mobile; it's like the virtual reality now." And I'm like,
but it's really the mobile. I think there is many more gamers on mobile than on PC.
No. So I made, if you want, I can send you. I made a podcast with a game journalist, basically about the future of video games and what it is. And so there is some numbers. Mobile and PC. Actually, there is more PC players. Like not more PC players, but if you go to revenues,
Yes,
per
yes,
years,
okay.
PC and console is above mobile,
Okay,
both together.
okay.
And even PC alone, I think, is above mobile. But it doesn't matter. People try to think like video games is like PC, console, and mobile all together. But in fact, it's 3 different markets. You don't consume something on console like you consume something on PC, like you consume something on mobile. Me, I play to my you too, huh? My phone, I play to Candy Crush or something like this when I'm in the metro. Then I come back the night I play to Silent Hill 2 on my couch, and when I will play to my friend, it will be on Call of Duty on PC. So it's like, you know, you don't consume the thing. It's not collision market for me. It's like they will cohabite. Cohabiter, j'ai pas le mot. Hein. But,
coexist.
Coexist. Yes.
Yeah, coexist. Yeah, exactly.
No.
But after this is insane market. Like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of players on mobile. Very interesting. Like one of the first thing someone suggested us on a publisher is like do a mobile version of Beautiful Light. And in fact, we can laugh about this, but in fact, this is absolutely not stupid because if you look to some country, they only play to mobile. So
In
like,
Asia, for example.
So
yeah, look at the Indian market. Like it's dominated by mobile.
Indian, yes. Asia is a bit specific. Like in China, there is no console. There is a lot of mobile, but it starts to be a lot of PC. It's like emerging.
Yes.
Like they discover the joys of killing people on Counter-Strike, visibly. So they are actually buying PC massively.
We ask Engage version in my chat. Engage, the Nokia Engage. You don't remember Nokia Engage?
No.
The first mobile with the capability to play games. Engage. Don't
yeah.
The Engage. So.
Yeah, the Engage. Yeah.
Don't remember.
That was forever ago.
Yes.
The mobile phone with a vertical screen for game. Oh, I never heard about this. Shame on me. I'm not usually when someone speaks me about mobile, I'm like, yeah, next. Like I'm really not interested in it. So I'm wrong. It's like AI.
But you were in college? In college, no, not in English college.
Yeah, I see. I'm 31 years old.
Yes,
you're
you
just
were
a baby still.
Primary school.
So no, never see one with it or stuff like this.
You're too young.
Probably, or too old. I don't know.
I'm too young.
But yeah. So you got all the idea behind the project, I guess, guy.
Yeah.
And a bit of a nice talk about the industry.
Yes, very interesting.
Thanks. I love. I mean, I'm discovering the industry. Like every week, I go into something. So so it's like very funny to share the thing like you discover. Oh, it's for example, magazine like jeuxvideo.com and stuff like this. For me, it was like I was looking for game, and I learned like if you want to be in gv.com, either you must be a friend with someone, either being with an agency, either basically doing a promoted article. And I was like, is this legal?
What the fuck?
But you can see that I have no article on us. But like you don't have an agency or something else, you will not have an article. Or you need really to reach like high numbers. And if you look for Tarkov, there is only one article on Tarkov when Tarkov is like million of players.
Yes,
so it's like this, I guess. And visibly this is like a very common practice. So it's also why when I say I like you guys and super happy, it's because now, since I know this, I'm not looking into a game magazine anymore, and I start to understand a lot of things, and I'm looking for NG journalism. Question, le trailer, c'est pour eux qui s'en sont chargés ou pas? Yes, and it was a massive clusterfuck to produce. So we work with a studio called North Studio. You don't know the guy, but in fact you know them. This is the guy who is doing like Valorant trailer for esports, or doing at the origin. They did so. How I meet them, we was looking for a Counter-Strike video, like a montage, a frag movie. It was very now in the time. It was Clockwork, and there also Midnight Light and stuff like this. It's like very new video of Counter-Strike with insane 3D effects. And we was a guy like this to realize the trailer. And so we looked for them, and we found that all those guys is finally assembled in one studio called North Studio. And so we contacted our studio, and our studio say, oh, that's so cool because we want to do video game trailer, but the only thing we got is like esport trailer, and we want to like evolve. And so we say, okay, but let's do a trailer, but at a lower cost. And so we did the trailer. It was like super hard to do. So I write all the sentence in the trailer. Bike had here even do a voice at the moment for it. And they do like all the production. We do all the thing. So it's like not directed by us. It's like co-directed by us. But yes, so we produced it. Thanks. Yeah, there's a lot of reference in the trailer, like a lot. And especially, we explain very clearly what the lore of the game is. You just need to understand what we said. But yeah.
How long did it take to actually render out that trailer? Do you know?
A lot. If you want some fun thing, when the water artifact explodes, there is more water particle in this shot than in the entire Avatar movie.
Holy shit!
Yeah. So yeah. So it's like we can say we have one of the best water simulation, but it took like so long to render that we got in late. And if you look to the trailer, if it's at some parts there is unfinished rush. Like at some parts, if you look closely, people don't have weapon or stuff like this. It's because we didn't have the time to finish it, and we needed to publish it for IGN for a festival. So we realized it's not finished, and we are sad of it. But this is like thing. And yes, the water simulation of the trailer is like insane. Like they spend so many time of it. But there is a full, not machinima, but behind the scene of this trailer. Like they show how they have made everything. So it's pretty cool ambience. Surtout pour un studio indé, c'est osé. It was a thing, like we know we are an extraction shooter, and if we just go like, hey, we are a new extraction shooter, we are a bit like Stalker on Universe, a bit like Death Stranding, people will be like, yeah, okay, next. And so what we want to do with this trailer is like, okay guys, we will do an extraction shooter, but story and the lore behind it matter a lot of us, and we want to show it. And the better way to do this is like a CGI trailer. So it's why we have realized a CGI trailer, and the perfect goal for us will be to go like in live action. If you know, there's two SCP movie, SCP Dollhouse and SCP Overlord, realized by Evan Royalty on YouTube. This is like the mood board for the project. It's like the very first inspiration for A Beautiful Light. And so
at first, your project was not based on SCP.
It always has been, the very early of the project was to be something like a bit like SCP Secret Laboratory.
Yes, I seen one of your stream about that, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was even like the first one and stuff like this. And more we evolve, more we got budget and stuff like this. And 3 years ago, something like this, we stabilize the project and we say, okay, we will shift a bit the direction because we can do something. I mean, doing like Secret Laboratory thing was cool, but there is like a lot of gameplay issue in what they have, and we didn't find all the solution to fix it. And so it's why we decided to switch to extraction shooter. It brings new issues, and we realized it was maybe not a good idea, but now it's too late to change. But we're happy with what we have, honestly. I think we have some good decision about it. Yeah, fun fact, IGN put their fucking logo on the bottom right when there is the most important information about it.
Well,
it's
of
like,
course.
Yeah, because we give the location and the date of every scene, and it's like super important to read them if you want to understand what's happening.
Hey, let's just watermark your video, with all the pertinent information.
Yeah.
Screw it, nobody reads at IGN.
Yes.
But it gives like a good, if we got the time with this project, and if this is successful, it shows a kinda how deep we want to go with the lore.
What do you mean if?
You never know.
You're gonna be successful. I'm telling you right now. Like when I worked for Machinima, I saw fucking games come and go, and like AAA games. This game has more fucking polish than a AAA game right now.
I won't say this, to be honest.
No,
I mean, like,
it does.
Crash and
It
stuff
really
like
does.
this.
From a gaming
there are details,
point of view.
the details are something very deep. More than several AAA.
I want to say.
After,
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
For us, the thing who really like us is like, especially on level design. So we have an insane level design team. Honestly, they did like so much work in so few time. But the thing is, like, if we want the detail level of Ubisoft games with absolutely insane on level design, no matter what we say, it takes so many time and so many technology. But this is what we want at the end, is to be like, I'm a huge fan of what Ubisoft is doing on level design. But everything you see in the trailer, so there's some metaphorical moment, like the one you are seeing right now. But Titan is something we want to add at the game at some point. Like big monster like this one.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, what the guy said in the trailer is massive. Like massive. It's like very important to understand.
What were you gonna say, Estyaah?
Sorry?
Oh, that was me, I think.
Oh,
Yes.
one of you were gonna say something.
No, I was just gonna say it's really like, it's probably good to stay humble. I don't want to speak on like Aherys tongue or anything, but I think it's really important to me personally, at least. I'm new in the company, by the way, so.
Hello, new.
I
have
just
chicken
thought I'd mention that, but it's important to stay humble. That's just what I was gonna say.
Especially because if you failed, you can say, "Oh, we was humble," and if you succeed, you can say, "Yeah, motherfuck, bitch, we know it's on this thing."
Yeah, but at least you won't say the sentence, "Oh, shit happens." You know?
Yeah.
Every one of us knows this sentence from last year.
No, but there is, in
Shit
fact,
happens.
there's so many things we try to change with you. So we already made a lot of mistakes, by the way. But for the thing, the way we are working internally, so it's a cluster of an organization. Blue can relate. But the cool thing is like all the people who is working with us is happy to work with us, and we are not taking inspiration from Valve, but a bit. Like people is very free on what they want to work. Like we have some Mooney, who is the character artist of the game. She don't even ask to do a model now; she do it. Like she have total freedom on it. So there's a lot of things like this with working. Like there is no hours of work. I mean, you must fill a quota, but you can work whenever you want. Like if you want to work only start Wednesday and finish Sunday and do all your hours on Thursday, you can do it. It's like not a problem.
You see, like flexibility and creative freedom, totally, a great way to keep everybody, interested and happy.
I think too, the only thing I regret is like when we founded the studio, the first word was like no crunch, and finally everybody's crunching on every side. And it's because people like the project, I guess. But since when you are CEO and you are looking at this, you're like, it's not correct. Like we and especially, I mean, the thing is, we have so much to do, and people want this project to be succeed, and so they give massive investment into the work they are doing, but they are doing too much. And even when we say, okay, take a drop, like go rest or something like this, because you work too much, they don't want. And when they are employed, it's simple because we can force them. When they are freelancer, we cannot force them. Like we have no authority on a freelancer, so it's not cool. But well, this is game industry, I guess. So one thing we will be able to do if the game is a success is like to engage enough people to not have crunching and to pay people more, because actually, we don't pay super well.
Yeah, less stress is definitely better.
Yeah, but you cannot. I mean, it's like totally stupid to force people to work on something when they don't have the mind to work on it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
This is why we decided to make no hours of work, because I mean, I'm a developer and I'm also an artist. So I knew like if I need to take a drop, like a pause, I take, and it's my work quality will be much better if I come back after 2 hours of a pause or something like this. And so in the event, it's more cool. Like people feel, I hope, more relaxed. Say it, Blue. Say you are relaxed.
I'm very relaxed. Extremely relaxed.
Are you really?
I will say today was a bit stressful because I pushed something and I wasn't like, there is a small chance that it might have caused lag on the server. And with everybody playing today being like a streamer and a content creator, it was nerve-wracking.
I'm blaming all my deaths on you.
Yeah. All the crashes too. It was really only noticeable at the beginning, like the first couple
The first
rounds.
game, right?
A little bit of rubber banding or whatnot, but it wasn't that bad.
I see.
That's we like
That's
every
a
time we. The fun fact, there's a no YouTuber called Big Fry. Every time he come, it's like a guy who is like very harsh with game.
Oh yeah.
Every time he come, it's not working. Like every time.
Naturally.
Yeah, and we are like, and he's like, I see on the stream he was nice with us. He was like, no, the setting is nice, but every time I come, it's a clusterfuck. And when we see this, we're like, yeah, we know. Like, you just got bad like that. So
I think we broke Big Fry. You see the post I posted in
Yeah.
community help. I think it was a day after he played the playtest and announced it, and I think we broke him. We just killed him forever.
It's not mine, at the release. Et si Punk Papillon, quand c'est la mauvaise gestion, c'est moins pire déjà qu'on arrive à t'en faire, mais les gens sont de bonne foi. Yes, but no, because I mean, when you're a CEO, I mean, the first rule in the company was like you are not allowed to crash, like not allowed at all.
Yes.
If you do this, it's like we will come and say stop, and because we don't want like to have like people to seek me, for example, or someone else working too much and say, oh, I need to do this. And that's what the goal. And then you are hit by reality. Like, of course, this is bad management. Crunch is always bad management. That means that we set up the bar too high or stuff like this. And so this is on the leading team. This is on me, on the producer, most on me, because it's me who is taking most of the direction, but also on the producer, also on team leaders and stuff like this, because we see too big. And so you can think like this is normal. We are indie, we don't have enough fund, but the reality on this and what we don't want is to someone to have a breakdown because of us. Even if they want, because sometimes they don't realize. And this is the worst thing you can do, because if this happens, basically, and when you are crunching, it will happen, it's a failure for the management, like a big one. Like you, because some people never get after breaking, they never come back.
They never recover.
Yeah, they never recover, and so we try, and yes, and if we could do the thing differently, like if I need to redo this project, I will surely take some other thing to avoid this, and probably lower the expectation of the project at the start.
So the next weekend, you don't mandate your developers work? Like Star Citizen developers, for example?
No, we never asked. Basically, I mean, the only one who is asked to do outside the work or stuff like this is Matt Avatar, because he's doing like a playtest, and so it's very stressful for him. He's doing an unsaid job alone also. But outside this, I mean, I never think I asked someone to do something at some moment. But still, like that's the thing that I hope one day we'll be able to totally fix, especially when we got enough money to, like, something we are not proud of. No, never. It's never on purpose, of course, Pink Papillon. Never. No, there is no one good thing. There is no harassment into the company. The only annoying guy is me, and I'm mostly alone because I know I'm annoying with coworkers. So, like, I let the producer talk with people who is much nicer than me. So it's like a good firewall. Okay, so I guess I need to sleep.
Yes.
It's like a long discussion.
Do you though?
But thank you so much, at least, for participating to the playtest.